At 4:30, new developments from overseas. That's where Moscow and Kyiv are accusing each other of shelling Europe's largest nuclear power plant. The plant in Ukraine was captured by Russia in March, but is still being run by Ukrainian technicians. The UN Secretary General is calling for a demilitarized zone right there around that facility. Ukrainian officials believe Russia plans to stage a false flag incident and blame Ukraine. That's just hours after Russia accused Ukraine of trying to stage an accident there. This is a big back and forth in a very, very dangerous situation. Joining us this afternoon to break down the very latest on the conflict is Matt Schmidt, an associate professor of national security and political science at the University of New Haven. Matt, good to see you again. Thanks for being here. I guess I'll start by asking you first. There's obviously a lot of worry about the chance for a catastrophe here at this plant. What's happening, and is that warranted right now, the worry that is?
So it's a nuclear power plant, right? Bad things can happen, but it's not Chernobyl. And I think people need to understand that. The Chernobyl design came out of the late 50s. This design comes out of the 1980s. It has containment facilities over the actual reactors. The reactors have multiple redundant safety features that Chernobyl simply didn't have. So the domes can withstand, they're designed to withstand, like ours, a jetliner crashing into them. Experts have said they can withstand shelling, for quite a while, but that the danger is that the diesel supply, that runs the backup energy supply for the plant, is where the risk is. If that diesel supply gets hit and drains out, then there's no backup electricity to keep many of the safety features in the nuclear plant itself running.
Well, each side right now is blaming the other side. Obviously, this is a horrific war that's just gone on for months and months now. Where does this go? What comes next?
Well, you have to understand that it's pretty certain that Russia is using the facilities to shelter military equipment and troops, knowing that the Ukrainians aren't going to fire in there. The Ukrainians, of course, don't want to destroy the plant. Their own people are running the plant. If the plant goes down, it harms Ukraine. It doesn't harm Russia nearly as much. And so you have this back and forth in the information wars. But it's clear to me that it's Russia that's lying here. It's Russia that is trying to deceive the public and is trying to use the risk of a nuclear accident and frankly, to overplay it. Because the key thing to take away from this plant is, while things can be bad, they won't be Chernobyl. It won't explode. It won't send plumes of radioactivity over Europe in the way that Chernobyl did. But Russia is playing up that risk. That's why we're talking about it right now.
Well, and to be quite honest with you, I think the war hasn't really gotten the attention that it did when it started and in the months after the beginning. I mean, this continues, and it's a very, very bad situation for the people in Ukraine, right? Still, it can, and continues to be.
Right. You have something like 10 million Ukrainians. We really don't know the numbers, but a large number that are now outside the country, out of a population of about 40 million. You have civilian infrastructure that is just destroyed. This country is going to need $1 trillion or more of investment when the war is over to rebuild everything, to rebuild roads and apartment complexes and plumbing and all of this. And so the country is devastated. Even if they win the war militarily, the population of Ukraine it has a long road to go to get back to where they were before.
There's a lot of talk lately about what's next, if they'll move towards the capital again, so much more to come, and I know we'll have you back. Matthew Schmidt with the University of New Haven, thank you very much for being here this afternoon. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.